Deep in the heart of the woods, just behind a village, was a small kingdom brimming with fairies. These fluttering fairies lived in little houses they built for themselves, using the gifts the earth had given them. Some lived in the hollowed-out parts of tree trunks, while others patched together large, thick leaves to make homes. Other fairies borrowed holes in the ground, like little moles. They were protected by the trees that housed them and the earth that loved them. The fairies were Mother Nature's creatures. It was their job to protect the land in these woods. They had to heal and nourish the trees, feed the soil, and in return, Mother Nature protected the fairies. She kept them hidden away from the prying eyes of the humans who lived nearby. Evie loved autumn. One chilly afternoon, she ventured into the woods, walking down a path illuminated by a single sunbeam. She inhaled the scent of pine needles and damp leaves, smiling as the earth crunched beneath her feet. The trees above her seemed to be set on fire with vibrant shades of red, orange, and gold, their leaves glowing in the sunlight despite the gray sky. Evie barely noticed the direction she was walking in. She was so focused on the beauty of the woods that she didn't see that the path had shifted. The dirt trail gave way to a cobblestone walkway, lined with red maple trees and bushes, with no choice but to follow it or turn back. Evie kept walking until the crunch of leaves beneath her feet disappeared, replaced by the sound of her shoes tapping against stone. She looked down and realized the dirt trail had vanished, replaced by cobblestones. She turned to look back, but the familiar path was gone, replaced by grass and trees. Standing still, Evie thought about turning around, but something stopped her. She felt as though a guiding hand was encouraging her to move forward. Without fully understanding why, she followed the path with a sense of excitement and curiosity. As she walked, Evie heard distant footsteps, soft and light, as if something or someone was moving nearby. A tiny green figure with fluttering wings appeared in front of her. She rubbed her eyes, thinking it must be a dream. Evie blinked in disbelief. She had never seen a creature like this before. Before she could react, she tripped on a stone. But just as she was about to fall, a long, strong branch from a nearby tree reached out, wrapping around her waist and lifting her back to her feet. With a sense of wonder, Evie continued along the cobblestone path, now being guided by the fairies. The air felt warmer, and the atmosphere changed from the cool autumn woods to something reminiscent of summer. The buildings, no taller than her waist, were made of natural materials like leaves, twigs, and stone. In the center stood a tall clock, and fairies bustled about, gathering items from the forest. Evie couldn't help but marvel at everything around her. The world she had stumbled into felt like a dream. At the heart of the village, a fairy with glowing brown hair and a yellow dress, flew up to greet Evie. She welcomed her with a warm smile and a gentle voice, explaining that perhaps the trees had decided it was time for a human visitor. Evie, still overwhelmed by the surreal nature of the encounter, apologized for disturbing them. The fairy nodded kindly and reassured her that the trees had allowed her visit for a reason. As the time came for Evie to leave, two fairies guided her back to the path. She waved goodbye to the magical village and the fairies, her heart full of wonder and warmth. By the time Evie arrived home, the sun had set and a full moon rose outside her window. She sat on her bed, reflecting on the incredible journey she had experienced that afternoon. It was hard to believe that what she saw was real. As her mother asked about her walk, Evie simply smiled, unsure how to explain what had happened. She knew one thing for certain: the fairies were real, and she would return to the woods one day.